Hey, Tayo here. So Lynx, a French company, just unveiled the R1, their first mixed reality headset, probably one of the first mixed reality headsets on the market. And in this video, we're gonna understand why this headset is so interesting, what this mixed reality actually means, because we're not talking about Windows mixed reality, for example, and why the price, even if a little steep, is really understandable for the kind of hardware that we have finally on this kind of headset. So let's get into it, right? Okay, as you can see, this is the R1, Lynx's first mixed reality headset. First of all, though, I want to explain what mixed reality is, because some people may call it XR, some people MR, but then there was Windows mixed reality that created a lot of confusion. But MR means that we put together AR and VR, where virtual reality, VR, is being completely immersed in the virtual world, and AR instead is augmented reality. So put holograms in a world around you to enhance your reality, I guess. Now, we saw many VR headsets on this channel. We saw also many AR headsets on this channel. And the main difference is that usually the VR headset has a visual that is occluded. Instead, on the AR headset, we have just a prism in front of our vision, so we can still see what's around us, but through a refraction of the light, we are able to see holograms all around us. So how this headset take these two words and put them together and create MR? Using cameras at the end, using a lot of cameras actually. We have 6 cameras in this device, where 2 are pass-through, are the cameras that are gonna let you see the real world around you, and then we have 2 cameras that are black and white for the positional tracking. So you have 60 UF tracking, of course you're able to understand where you are in the world, and the other 2 cameras for the eye tracking. That is one of the most important things that we're gonna see in the future VR and AR headsets, because if you wanna push resolution, if you wanna push interaction and also performance, you need eye tracking, and it's actually something that everyone is working towards to, but not many actually are implementing it right now. We have very few VR headsets with eye tracking, one of the Vive Pro Eye that is just for enterprise, and AR headset we have HoloLens 2, for example, that uses for interaction in a very, very clever way. But now let's get back to the Lynx, because the particular thing is that this headset is the standalone headset. That means like all the computing power is integrated into the headset itself. And that makes it already a little complicated, having 6 cameras. But we talked about it in a recent video, if you remember, about the XR2, this new processor from Qualcomm that is gonna unlock a lot of possibilities for AR and VR. So Lynx is gonna be the first headset on the market using XR2, using all the potential of this new Qualcomm processor. But where is the gain to have actually a camera to display what's around you in the real life instead of just a pass-through mode like we saw in the regular AR headsets? Well, the regular AR headsets has the problem where the holograms are always a little translucent, so you can put up a lot of brightness, but you always kind of see through what is projected in the world, because at the end of the day, we are seeing through just a pair of glasses. Instead, using a camera, when you put an hologram somewhere, it's gonna be there and you're not gonna see through it at all, because you have complete control over the software on how the hologram will be displayed on. And also that means that you're gonna be able to have a bigger FOV when it comes to AR applications, because unfortunately we all know that AR headsets are always limited in FOV, where HoloLens 1 was around 40 degrees, for example, HoloLens 2 is around 50, 60, but still it's very far from the 110 or more that we are used to with the VR headsets. Instead here, having complete control through the cameras, you have the same FOV that you have in your VR experience. Now, one of the most interesting things about this headset is actually the screen placement and the visuals overall, because as you can see, the size is very contained compared to the other mixed reality headsets like we saw on the X-Tal or the Vario, for example. How did they do it? Well, they had to create actually new kind of lenses completely. And for this, I'm gonna have to read because it's very hard to also read. And they're called 4 fold catadioptric freeform prism. And as you can see from the photos, they are really complicated. But it seems like with these lenses, they're able to keep the screen very close to the lenses and so make the headset much smaller than what it should be. Because let's remember that this is a standalone headset. So inside there is the processor, the battery, the storage that is 128 GB, by the way, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth. And talking about the screen, there are two LCD displays, 1600 by 1600 RGB pixel arrangement that works at 90 Hz. Also for interaction, it doesn't have any controller, but it uses hand tracking, and that's it. And let's remember that XR2 has the possibility to create many pinpoints on your hands. So that means that you're not gonna have just a pinch like we're used to on the Oculus Quest, but you're gonna have complete possibility of interaction with every single finger, and that's very interesting. And now talking about the price, this headset is gonna be pricey, but not that pricey if you think about it in a real way, how the market is going. Well, this headset will be $1,500. That is pretty steep if you compare it with the Oculus Quest, for example. But when you compare this with actually a new phone that is coming out, because the XR2 is much more powerful than your latest Snapdragon phone that you have right now, because it's a modified version of the Snapdragon 865, and your phones right now, they're running usually, if they're the top tier, 855. And the price is around $1,000 already. And here you have pretty much all the hardware that is contained in a very expensive phone. You have 6 cameras, the latest Snapdragon chipset, eye tracking, battery, 128 GB of storage, 6 GB of RAM. Well, this is a top tier smartphone if you think about it. Add another screen, integrated audio, and all the software behind it. Well, you have a price that is not that far from the expectations, but let me know what you think about it. Also, if you look at the competition, we have HoloLens 2 that is $3,500, for example. We have the Vario that is $5,000, the Xtal that is $8,000. So if you're a business and you want to start with your AR or VR headset, your MR headset, well, this might be the key. A standalone headset that can do pretty much all. It kind of defines what is going to be the next generation of VR on AR. Besides the fact that just 90 degrees of field of view are not really next generation, all the rest, like breathe, like this is what we're gonna see in the next standalone headset, in the next reiteration of VR. Now, there are many questions, of course, for it. I never tried it, so I can't let you know about the real experience. We don't know the latency that the cameras are gonna have, the resolution of this camera, so if the visual in the AR mode is gonna be good enough to be compelling, for example. But I think it's a trade-off, because you have a less good reality, but you have better holograms on it, instead of have the perfect reality that you see with your eyes, like any AR headset, but not the perfect hologram display. It's really on the edge over there, but for sure some companies are going to prefer this kind of interaction and have an headset that is good for all. In some instead, like manufacturer, for example, are going to prefer a standard AR headset, because the real world is more important for them than the virtual world sticks on top. But let me know, do you value more the real world or the virtual world? Well, let me know in the comment below. For now is all, guys. I thought this was a very interesting topic, because this is kind of the first affordable MR headset. Finally, we are starting to see something going in this direction, and it's the first with the XR2, and we talked about it in the past. So it's like great to see finally someone using this amazing processor from Qualcomm. But yeah, that's all. As always, like the video, if you didn't like the video, dislike, subscribe to the channel for more VR tech, and I see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching. Ciao.